Welcome to another, actually the third installment, correct?
Yes.
Of the Smart Business Series brought to you by the North Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. I am your host, Real Estate Ray. Today, we actually have a great, I can't say too much about Miss Kumar. We have Dr. Kumar today. She's actually going to tell you a little bit about her business, Novel Pediatrics.
I'm not so great, but my model and my clinic is. It's called Novel Pediatrics, and I was just so tired of having patients come every 10 minutes where you couldn't do any justice for really diagnosed. So you were seeing them. If there's complicated, just refer them. And that was the whole thing. And it was very dissatisfying. I come from a long line of doctors. So it was very distressing. At one point, I thought, okay, I have to quit medicine and do something else or change my model. And then I discovered this very special model. It is called direct primary care, and it is a membership model, low cost, all-inclusive model of healthcare, which frees the doctors from the time constraints, so I can spend, instead of 15 minutes, I can spend 45 minutes, 1 hour. If you say you need 2 hours to talk, I can do that. And you can have unlimited visit, and it is convenient. I do telemedicine in that, and members are, the telemedicine is included in the membership cost, so you don't have to leave your home and bring your kids, if they are vomiting, not carry 3 of them to the clinic. So think of the convenience. And it is accessible. You have my direct phone number, my direct email. So when you call, I am the one who picks up the phone, or I answer your email regarding your problems. So, and all of this for just a cup of coffee a day, the same price as cup of coffee a day. So it is a wonderful thing. Let me just paint one scenario where how my practice is different from a traditional clinic. Think of it, you are a working parent, you have 3 kids who are vomiting because there's a bug going around. And when you call your traditional office, they will say, okay, we'll accommodate all 3 of them, but you have to bring them to the clinic because they don't get paid if you're not in the clinic. Think of it, driving for 1 hour with kids having vomiting, diarrhea in your car, and I would rather stab myself than to do that. But wait, the other scenario is you come to a direct primary care pediatrician like me, and you call them, your kids are vomiting, we discuss what's going on, what's the signs and symptoms, and I prepare a anti-nausea vomiting medicine. Your significant other can pick it up. Next day, you get a call from me, finding out how the kids are doing, and we discuss what signs to look for dehydration. Think of the convenience. For me, that's the major thing, because I work at one place, my kids go to school at another place, my house is different place, my pediatrician's place is different. By the time I go there, I was tired, and I was taking risks to reach on time so that I don't get into accidents, right? So skipping the red lights and things, because I had to make it to that time, otherwise the clinic is going to close. So think of it, those are things that you have to, you can go to retail clinic, but the price is there. And when I say inclusive, my clinic has not only unlimited visit, telemedicine is included. If your child needs to get a breathing treatment in the office, or they need a strep throat in the office, all of these are included. You don't have to pay any co-payment, you don't have to pay any extra charges. And we have negotiated labs, because I now have time to negotiate with different companies, and we pay directly, so they reduce the price, because everyone wants to get their money right away rather than roundabout way. So it saves you money. The same cost of lab, common complete WBC count, which is done in hospital, it is $25. We have negotiated it down to up to $5. So think of the difference right at one visit. You get your money back within the first day of the thing. So please spread the word out to think of direct primary care pediatrics.
All right, thank you. Two things she sold me on was price and convenience. I don't know about you guys. All right, so the man of the hour, I actually have the great pleasure of calling this man my friend as well. He's consulted me on numerous media things, so if you've seen me out there, pretty much it was his brainchild. All right, so I'm gonna bring up, I wanna say doctor. Doctor of social media, David Alvarez from DCA Media.
Thank you, man.
No problem, man.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to Hope and to the Chamber for having me. It's always nice to be recognized by a friend. And you know, Ray's like always the best person. Like he's dressed the best than anyone. So I was like, I'm just gonna wear a t-shirt and jeans because I can't compete with him. So it's fine. So I'm gonna be comfortable. So if you don't know who I am, my name is David Alvarez. I have a company called DCA Media that I do social media consulting, content creation, and advertising. So there are some people here that kind of already heard my spiel, probably some that doesn't, but we're going to do things a little bit different today. So what we're going to talk about is human behavior and social media, right? So there's going to be a little bit of psychology class and marketing class. And why are we doing this? Because things are changing, right? Things are changing in marketing. The stuff that used to work isn't working. The old formats aren't working. There are things that are constantly changing, and that's because people are constantly getting hit with information every day, right? Think about your day when you wake up in the morning. First thing you do is what? Pick up your phone, right? Maybe you check your email, maybe you go on social media, right? At some point, you're gonna see someone trying to sell you something within the first 30 minutes of you being awake during the day, okay? Then what? You get up, you go, you eat, you get in your car, you go, you start driving. You see billboards, you see everything. You're just constantly being sold, constant. You get to work, maybe you take a break, go on your phone again, you're gonna see more. So you're constantly being sold, but all these different ways. Everyone is trying to get your attention. And as business owners, you're trying to figure out, how can I reach my customers if my customers are tired of seeing ads, right? So the problem that a lot of marketing, and especially social media, that business have gone, is a one-way street, right? That means that, all right, I'm going to use this platform to talk about what I have. Well, this is what I'm selling. This is what I'm selling every day. I have this, I have this, I have this. Come buy from me, come buy from me, come buy from me. It's a one-way street, one-way communication. So what happens? People start to ignore it because I'm tired of being sold, right? I don't want to be sold. How many people have recently like bought a car or went somewhere there's a salesman, right? Troy will know. He works at a dealership. He doesn't do it though. But like when you go, right? Let's say you walk in somewhere and you see a salesman coming up to you. What's your reaction? Run. Oh. So I hope I may curse during this, but oh shit, here we go. Right? So we have, like, my wife and I have a team thing. I'll deal with the salesman, so then we can go do our thing, right? You just don't want it. Like, you know it's going to happen. You're just waiting for it. Even when you meet people, you could talk to them and you feel like, oh, here comes the sale, right? Here it comes. And you get put off by it, right? I do. I think a lot of people do as well. So if we can switch to that we're speaking to the consumer and we're talking to them and how we can help them, what my company can do for you, right? It's all about service. It's about what I can do for you. Doesn't matter if you're a one-person business or a brick and mortar store, right? What can we do for you? And that is going to be the best way to connect with your audience, because now you're here for them. It's no longer, I'm just here, this is what I have to offer, buy from me. No. Consumers have unlimited choice to who they can go for, whether it's to go to a doctor, right? To go to a real estate agent. There are a bunch of different people, but if you can stand out in their mind, right, by communicating with them and reaching them on a human level, there are plenty of people that I know that want to work with someone just because they like them, right? I've met plenty of people, like, they could not even be like that great, right? But I'd rather deal with someone that I like because that's just how I want. I want that human. I want that human interaction. That's what I want from someone. So let's talk about what we need to do. We need to make a connection, right? There's always been this thing of like, oh, you need to engage with the audience, you need to talk to them, which is always great. Especially social media is great because what you can do is you have direct access to them. You can talk to them and everything. Everyone wants that. But we're not really looking for engagement as much as connection, right? So what do I mean by connection? Has anyone messaged or commented on a company's or brand's social media page? Yes? Okay. Has anyone been followed by a brand or a company that they go to? Do you get followed by them? Yes? Did you know that 60% of people would want to be recognized by their favorite brand? That's more than their friend. They want brands to like and follow them on social media more than their own friends. But why not, right? It's cool. I mean, it's literally just a person behind their phone or their computer, like you and I, but they like it. You get something extra. And I'm addicted to it too. I know how it works. When I moved here, right, one of the big things, like I need to go visit everywhere. I need to go visit all the cool food spots, right? So we went down to Oxford Exchange. Who's been down there in Tampa? Yes? Okay. So a good amount of people. Awesome place, very cool, very nice. So I go there all the time, went with my wife, we have brunch, I go down there, if I have meetings in Tampa, I sit there. I'm always posting while I'm there, taking, my little shots of coffee and everything, millennial, have to, right? So one day, after I've been there a couple times, I get a notification on my phone. I see a little heart next to my photo, and it's from Oxford Exchange. I'm like, oh, look at that. Okay. 10 minutes later, I get another notification. Oxford Exchange is now following you. I go, whoa. I go, babe, we've made it. We're in. Like, we are VIP status. Is it stupid? Yeah. Do I love it? Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. Why? Because that is a place that I think is cool. That aligns with my beliefs on certain things, which is something we're going to get into. That's a place that I feel like is a good institution. So just that extra recognition by them has gone a long way. So what's happened now? I talk about it. I tell a story all the time. I'm like a brand ambassador to them. Because I'm like, you got to go Oxford Exchange. I mean, they follow me. You have to go. Like I have an in there. I have no in, no discount, no nothing. They don't know me from a hole in the wall probably. But yet, thank you. But it's just that little feeling of like, oh, cool. I have this connection now with a brand or a business that I care about. And that's such a cool little thing, right? So at the end of it, what do people really want to do, right? They want to belong. A lot of us want to just belong to a group. That's what everyone wants to do, right? Not to get really depressing, but we have to go there for a second. Loneliness has been on the rise, right, for decades. Every decade, loneliness goes up. So much so, even in the UK, they have a ministry of loneliness. They've established that it's gotten so bad. 40% of people said that they feel lonely, even though we are more connected than ever, right? If I knew all you and we're all connected on social media, I could message you and everything. We could talk all day, but you still feel lonely because there's no human connection. A lot of it's kind of like artificial. So how are brands using this idea to their advantage? They're making communities. They're not making really ads anymore or trying to market to them directly. They're making a community so that people can feel like they belong. And this isn't a new idea. This has been around for a while. Go back to 1960s, right? Coca-Cola is dominating, right? Pepsi is not. They're not doing good. So they hired this young guy for their marketing and said, listen, we need to get these younger generation. We need to get them in here. We need to bring them. So this young guy comes in, and he says, okay, so I have a game plan. They said, great. Listen, Coca-Cola has been around. They have name recognition. They got Santa Claus on their can. Like they're big time. So what are we going to do? He goes, okay, well, I'm going to do an ad, but we're not going to talk about Pepsi. We're not going to talk about what it tastes like. We're not going to talk about anything. We're not even going to talk about the product. And they go, okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about the people. We're going to talk about the people who consume our drink. And that's how the Pepsi generation was born. So what they said is, Coca-Cola is your parents' drink. They've been marketing you for years, and they want you to form like this. You don't want to be part of that group, do you? All the kids are like, nope. You're in the Pepsi generation. If you drink Pepsi, you're part of the cool group. You're the next wave that's coming in. And it saved them. It saved them. Nothing. Pepsi didn't change. It still tastes exactly the same. Like, it just never changed. But that little thing made it that people felt like, I can identify with Pepsi. It's literally sugar water, right? But they identified with that message. So if we can find a way to make a community, make people feel like they belong, they will be loyal to you for a very, very long time, right? There's a saying that says the greatest company are the biggest fans of their fans. So the more you can show your support for your fans, the more they will appreciate it. It's not the other way around. It's not like, I have all these fans, I'm awesome, thank you for coming, see you later, buy my stuff. No, no, no. I want to be a fan of you, right? If you like my stuff, I am a fan of you guys. And I'm going to champion you. And that's what's going to work. And you don't have to be a multi-million-dollar company like Pepsi to do it. You can do it if it's just you in a home office. Like, you can still do that. You can interact and bring people into a community. I'm going to give you two quick examples of two great examples. Harley Davidson. Does anyone have a Harley here? No? You used to? Yeah. Okay. So then you know. Did you ride your Harley Davidson? Yeah? You did the whole thing? Yeah. Okay. Do you have Harley Davidson attire? I used to, yeah. Why? It went with the ride. Was it about the motorcycle, or is it because it's just because it's a Harley? Because there's a weird thing, right? That everyone who rides a Harley always wears Harley stuff. Yep. They're representing it at all time, yep. Right? From my understanding,
because Harley, I mean, they're out there, they're branding,
but it's a feel.
Bike and they're branding the look.
Right. But here's the thing, right? And this is where it's really key. When people start talking about motorcycles, do you say, I used to have a motorcycle, or do you say, I had a Harley? Right. It's its own thing, right? And there's people that say, like, Harleys are a pain in the ass. They're not comfortable. They're loud, right? But it's that sense of community that they've built, that if you see someone else with a Harley, you're like best friends already. You can connect.
Jeep Wranglers do the same thing. They all wave to each other.
Yeah. Exactly. Why? Because, exactly, they created communities around this feeling of, you're part of our club now, right? If you're in Harley, you have Jeep, you're part of it. So you see other people, you're like, hey, what's up? You know nice people from the hole in the wall. They could be dicks, but they have a Jeep. So they're cool in my eyes. But it's that idea that they created a community. The product is I'm sure is great, but it's really the community in the sense of it. The most recent one is Yeti, right? The cooler, okay? It's a cooler. You put ice in it, it stays cold. The end. That's what they started with. And then what did they do, right? How did they get so popular that people have stickers on the back of their cars and everything like that? Well, they said, like, we got this great product. We know who we want to get it to, and we want to create a community. We want to get it to the right people and create that if you use our product, that we appreciate you, and this is our lifestyle. So they pinpointed certain areas that they want to get to. Fishermen, outdoorsmen, right? Kayakers, everyone who's outdoors. And they set up these micro campaigns, and they got influencers within those areas. So if there's people with a lot of charter boats in one area, they gave them coolers, they gave them hats, they gave them stickers, they gave them all this stuff, right? So they got all these brand ambassadors here. So when they take out people fishing and they see this weird cooler, they're like, what is this? They're like, oh yeah, it's cool. I've had ice in it for like 3 days or whatever crazy stuff it does, right? So they did this market by market by market, slowly but gently. You know what happened in 3 years? They quadrupled their sales. Quadruple. I can't do math that well, but that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of money. Simply because they created this sense of community. They give out the stickers, they give out the stuff. So now, people wear hats with say, Yeti. You see it on people's cars. It's no longer about the cooler. It's about being an outdoorsman, being a fisherman, right? At the end of the day, it's about a freaking cooler. That's it. But it's that sense of we're part of this community. So if I see someone that has a Yeti, we're cool. We're all good. Does that all make sense? Okay. So the other big thing that's going on is people want authenticity, right? We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being tricked, right? So I come from a digital marketing background. So unfortunately, I get marketed by other digital marketers, right? I get ads of like, this funnel made me $1 million. And he's doing it in his like 1-bedroom apartment, doing the video, how he made $1 million in there. I'm like, you're full of shit. Right? But I see it all the time. It's that dream, it's that access of like, oh yeah, if you do this, you're going to be great, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very, very bottom, right here all the way to the bottom, it's like, results are not typical, right? People are tired of it, right? Oh, come into our webinar, and then I'm going to talk for 5 minutes and then sell you for 45, right? How many people have been in a webinar for something? How many people really found it informative? Yeah, I didn't think so. Put your hand down. You didn't find it informative. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. Look, I'm weird. I love to get into them because I want to see how bad their sale is going to be. Yeah. Like people watch bad movies. I like to watch bad webinars. So, you know, and it's always funny because you watch in the comments of a lot of things that people write, here comes the sale, right? They know it's coming. People are smart, right? People are so smart when it comes to this stuff. They don't want to be manipulated. They don't want to be tricked. And you can't trick them. Don't think you can. Don't think like, oh, I'm going to get someone and I'm going to build this funnel and they're going to go through a system, which funnels are great, right, if it's built properly and there's authenticity in it. But you're not going to trick anyone. You may trick a couple people and you may make some quick money, but it's not going to last for your brand, right? We're here to build a business and a brand that's going to last, not to make a couple bucks in a one-time shot. Because one time you do it and you piss enough people off, you'll make some money, but you're not making money anymore after that. This is like the most important thing. And if some of you may have heard this term, but you need to know it now, especially when it comes to like social media, right? The internet is undefeated. Does anyone know what that means? The internet is undefeated. You will never beat the internet. Never. Anyone who's tried to trick people or get away with stuff or be a trickster, you will always come out. If people think you're not being truthful, it'll come out. If you try to say, oh, well, yesterday I was this, but today I'm this, it's going to come out. Undefeated. This is my favorite story. I cannot wait to get into this. So, McDonald's. How many people have been to McDonald's? Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you. That's my same thing. So McDonald's, especially in the 80s and 90s, killing it, right? I mean, when I was a kid, people had birthday parties in McDonald's. They're like, oh, this party's going to be the jam. It's at Mickey D's. Like, seriously, they had the whole setup for it. Like, this was the top of their game. They are opening like crazy, okay? Because of Happy Meals, McDonald's was the biggest distributor of toys in the world. Crazy. That's how much dough they're rolling in, okay? So all through the 80s, yeah, exactly. All through 80s and 90s, they're killing it. And then, what happened? The internet happened, right? Twitter happened. So in the early 2000s, stuff starts coming out, right? Because now here's this platform where people can communicate freely and put their opinion out namelessly. And people start talking about, oh my God, McDonald's? That's gross. It's disgusting. People were sharing that or spreading that their meat had cow eyeballs in it.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. How unhealthy the food was. People were sharing videos of the animals being like tortured from the farms that they come from, right? Is this true? We don't know. But does that matter? No. Nope, doesn't matter, right? My personal favorite one, and I remember this vividly, was that rumor that the McNuggets and the burgers were made from pink slime. Does everyone remember that? Yeah. That was the tipping point. They said, okay, this internet thing, we have to take it very seriously. So the agency that they had doing their marketing, they hired one of the people from there and said, you're our social media guy. Your job is you got to turn this around because social media is obviously a big deal. So you're going to turn this around. So the guy said, cool, all right, I know what I'm going to do. So they came up with this campaign to pivot everything. So McDonald's first started adding healthier options, right? salads that are more calories than the burger. We won't get into that. But they decided we're going to change this, right? And they changed their slogan to what we're made of. That was their new slogan. That's what they were basing everything on. Like, yeah, we know our food was kind of gross before, but not anymore. Now we're going to show you what we're made of, okay? So they changed the slogan, they changed the food, and they said, all right, we're going to start with this Twitter campaign that we're going to do. This is going to be a big campaign. It's going to be great. So they started the morning with hashtag Meet the Farmers. So they said, all right, we're going to show you our farmers. We're going to show you where our food comes from. It's not pink slime. It's actual cows. We treat our farmers very nice, blah, blah, blah. Videos, interviews. They did a bunch of this. Overall response was positive. They're like, okay, McDonald's, I see you. Like, you're trying to show where everything's coming. Okay, great. So they're feeling great. They're like, oh, God, we're kicking ass right now. All right, phase 2, that same day. Well, let's turn it to you now. We want you to share your hashtag McD stories. Before I start, this has gone down in advertising as known as the hashtag McFail. This is true. So as soon as that came out, boy, the Twitter storm began. People started sharing all their McD stories of how bad the food is, how disgusting it is, how gross restaurants are, right? And I have some of them written because they're really good, and my favorites at the end. So one person wrote, I lost 50 pounds in 6 months after I quit working and eating McDonald's. That's a good diet, just don't eat it. Okay. One guy wrote, I used to work at McDonald's, and the hashtag McD stories I could tell would raise your hair. Mm-hmm. I love this one so much, I can't. One time I walked into McDonald's, and I could smell type 2 diabetes floating in the air, and I threw up. Hashtag McD story. Undefeated, the internet. Undefeated. You will never beat it. Never. What's the point of this, aside from that last one just being hilarious, right? Is even a big brand like that got called out on their bullshit, right? And even though they said the positive response, number-wise, was greater than the negative response, what do you remember? I don't remember the good one. I don't even remember the farmer thing. This I'll remember. I walk into McDonald's, I'm going to think type 2 diabetes immediately.
The farmer reminds me of the dating site.
Yeah, there you go.
That doesn't remind me of McDonald's.
Well, it's good. You save farmers at least. They didn't have to take the hit. And this is also the greatest part, right? So McDonald's being a multi-billion-dollar company, and they still don't really know how social media works. They're like, oh, shit, this isn't going well. Delete the tweets, delete the tweets. But you can delete the tweets, but hashtags live forever. So the whole day, they just kept getting plummeted with bad tweets about their McD stories. So the point of that story is, like, the advantage that we have as small business owners is we can tell our story and we can be more authentic because we have actual face to it, right? People know who's behind your business and who's behind you, right? We're not a billion-dollar company with you don't know who's running it. Even if you're a billion-dollar company, I think someone, even if your spokesman, should be up there. Good businesses have owners that are being shown all the time because you need to put a face to something because people want that authenticity. And the more you try to be secretive and then turn it around, you will lose people's trust because they'll turn it. So I was talking about, people don't want to be sold anymore, right? So even in a marketing standpoint, people are like, I want to do ads. I want to do like TV ads and everything like that. And I laugh because I'm like, why do you want to spend that money? He's like, oh, I want to be seen. I'm like, have you ever heard of a thing called a DVR? And they go, what? I go, yeah. There's a thing called a DVR. It's been around for a while. I can watch TV, and I skip the commercials, and I keep watching TV. It's awesome. It's great, right? Even online, there's ad blockers. I can have an ad blocker on my phone. If anyone has one or use it, they're awesome. You can use it on your desktop. Any of those banners that go on websites, boop, they're gone. If you really wanted to, you can go your whole life without seeing an ad anymore on digital side. And where's everything going now? Think about it. Think where all these platforms are all going. They're going subscription, right? And people are paying for it. I don't want to see ads. I'm willing to pay extra money so I don't see an ad, right? That's crazy. That's where we're at. because everyone just wants to avoid it. So what's the idea here, right? What's the pivot? What can we do? You're going to start to see a lot of people do experience marketing. They need to give something. So this is the idea of giving back to your community, right? Showing you're a fan of them, giving something good. Who here has a MasterCard by any chance? Does anyone have a MasterCard? Yeah, I'm going to charge you at the end. You didn't know? I had to make sure. Yeah. So their chief marketing officer said that storytelling is dead, at least in a commercial context. So they knew that, listen, we're going up against credit cards. Our product is exactly the same. People are tired of talking about credit cards. So what did they do? They created the Priceless program. They have priceless cities and priceless events. Has anyone ever been to a priceless event? Well, yeah. It's my wife. She knows. She knows the spiel. So what they do is they have exclusive events or exclusive tickets to concerts, performance, and everything if you have a MasterCard, right? Seems cool, right? We went to one. So we saw Justin Timberlake at a priceless event. I'm like, all right, it's just a concert, whatever. What could be a big deal? How much are the tickets, babe? She goes, $100. I'm like, all right, it's a little much, but we'll see, whatever, we'll go. But what I didn't know is there was only a couple hundred people there. And it was in the Fillmore down Miami Beach, and literally there was no seat, no nothing. You can go wherever you want. You could walk up right here and look right at them. Wow. You didn't have to push anyone. I was asleep in the back. This was like 3 o'clock in the morning because it was right after another concert. Don't get me started. I was grouchy that day. But the point is, like, you could just go right up. I'm like, Jesus, this is actually. I'm like, we should have just went to this, not the other one, right? We were all the way in nosebleeds in the other concert. He looked like this. Now I could see him. Thank you, MasterCard. And why do they do that, right? Because we're going to be there. We're showing these pictures of, like, I could see his all the way down to his hair follicle. That's how close we are, right? And people are like, how did you get in there? How did you do that? Oh, we have a MasterCard, and we got this special event. Well, shit, I want a MasterCard. I want to go to these events, right? So what do? They turned us into brand ambassadors, right? Does it have anything to do with the credit card? Do they have a great APR or something like that? Probably not. No, they all don't. But it's the idea of, like, oh, we're in this exclusive club now, and we get to go to these things. Not saying that we all need to throw a private concert, but there is some exclusivity that you can do with your business, or that you can make them feel like you're in a special, special club. So that ties into a little bit of, like, what we're going to be talking about next, of basically trying to understand how people work and create an environment of an experience. So turning someone into a brand ambassador is very good. There's a couple ways you can do it, right? Just be good at your job and be nice. You'll go pretty far, right? Events like this, right? I think the Chamber has a very good reputation because of the events they put on, right? You have to agree, but I'll say it for you. Like, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm not. I'm really not. Yeah, thank you. But, you know, that kind of idea, because and when I go meet people, right, what do? I said, you have a business? Yeah. Have you joined the Chamber yet? Why? Well, because you have to go to these events. You have to see, you meet these people, right? The event, the experience, everything like that, right? I have a little trick. So if you ever been to, like, so I'm in a Rotary Club in Wesley Chapel. We have a little photo booth that's really fun, right? Makes little gifts, does all this stuff. Why do I bring it? Aside from that, it's fun. Or use it for clients. Do I want it because I'm starting a photo booth business? Not really. But I do it because people have fun with it and they interact. And what happens is you get a photo and you're smiling, having a great time, and our logo's right here. And then you share it. So now people are going to see a smiling face and your logo. I created a great experience for you. So you're going to like me, right? If I have a good time somewhere and it's sponsored by someone, I'm going to feel good about that company, right? For a lot of you don't know Troy, so he has big trucks with LED billboards on them, right? We had a client that was an attorney that he wanted to do in an event. He's like, I'm sponsoring this event. I want to do something cool. I want my ad to play. And we're like, well, that's going to be kind of boring. Someone just see your face and your ad all over again. So we said, you know what, why don't we hook up a video game system on one screen so the kids can play, right? Give the parents a break, and then your ad's playing on there. Gangbusters. He looks like a hero. God, it's entertaining. The kids are having a great time playing the games, but now you're still seeing the ads, and it's brought to you by him. So it's a good experience, right? It's that tie. You want to bring good experiences, good feeling. You want your customers to feel good about you. So we're going to talk about psychological bias. Does anyone know what that is? I got to read it because I want to make sure. I'm not that smart, so hold on. The idea is that the rate of uptake of beliefs, ideas, fads, and trends increases the more they have already been adopted by others. In other words, the bandwagon effect means that it's more likely for someone to do, say, believe something if a high number of other people have already done so, right? Also, it's like the herd behavior, right? So that's literally the term, you're jumping on the bandwagon because something else looks cool and everyone else thinks it's cool, so I probably should think it's cool, right? So how can we use this very, very simple technique that's been around forever to our advantage, right? Social media already has it set up. That's the best part of this network. Now, if you have a business that people can go to, or you throw events or anything like that, more likely than not, someone's taken a picture at that event or talked about you and put it on social media. So what I like to do for the businesses I work for is instead of just put out content about how great we are, this is our pricing, this is the sale, I like to put out user-generated content. Not because I'm lazy and I don't want to create my own, kind of, but it's more authentic that if I see other people's genuine photos and videos from that business and how they enjoyed it, that I feel like, okay, maybe this is somewhere I can go, right? It's social proof, right? We talked about that earlier, social proof. If I see other people enjoying this and it looks cool, maybe I should give it a try. What's the other thing that you have access to? Testimonials. It's so easy to get one. You can get them on Google, you can get them on Facebook, you can get them on Yelp. Get everything. Everything's on there. I base my eating habits on Yelp. You have under 4 stars, I'm not going to your restaurant. I'll tell you that right now. Yes. But it's true. Like, I base it on that because I want to know what other people like. Because I trust other people. I don't trust what the business has to say. You could say you have the best burger, but if everyone's like, this burger tastes like a steaming pile, I don't want to eat it. So how can you use that to your advantage? User-generated content and testimonials. If you share that more and you talk more about how people enjoyed your brand, how they enjoy the company, how they benefit from them, in their words, let them describe it, instead of you describing it, you have now brand ambassadors, you have salesmen doing the work for you, and you don't look like you're constantly selling and pitching. Your job is to make sure that your customers are happy and that they stay happy so that they keep creating this content. And that's a business side, right? That's on your business side. That's why, again, the internet is always going to be undefeated because at the end of the day, whoever's best at doing that will always win, right? Even if your company is exactly the same as someone else, if you make your customers and fans in your community happy, you will win. Does that make sense? Good. Smiling, nodding is always good. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is in-group favoritism. Anyone ever heard of that? Because I didn't before I started looking in this, but it makes sense. I got to read it again. Bear with me. This means that people prioritize products and ideas that are popular with a group they align themselves with. Okay? It's kind of like on that Harley idea, that Jeep idea, right? We're all in this group, but we all have probably similar ideas about things that we may not even know. A good example is like sports teams, right? There's a theory that if we like a sports team, right? Let's say we like the Rays, right? There's a good chance that there are things that we like outside of baseball that are very similar, right? If there's Cowboy fans, right, all over the nation, there's something that you could tie between those Cowboy fans. The best idea on who does it the best is Apple, right? How many people have an Apple product? Everybody. Okay. Why do you buy an Apple product? Anybody? Quality? What else?
Because everything syncs, like my music, it's just everything.
Yeah, the whole house is Apple.
Yeah.
The whole house is Apple. What happens if I were to give you like a Windows PC right now?
I wouldn't know how to use it.
Okay. Yeah. So they created the us versus them, right? Because a lot of people I know, because I'm one of them, I'm like an Apple convert, right? I got my mom Apples. I bought her Mac. She had no choice. I got my wife into it. I'm like, no, we're an Apple family. Don't bring no Windows, no Android into this house, okay? But how does that work, right? Why is that so important? Because it's that sense that we have something in common, right? I don't know you, but we both use Mac. So I'm like, all right, we're already cool already, right? We can relate.
Yeah, and they created it to where, like she said, where the syncing aspect of it. If I wanted to share photos through an iCloud with your iCloud or someone, it's simple. I mean,
Right? In the group, because why would happen, right? iMessage.
Right.
Our text messaging is free, right? It's all in free. So I'm like texting people, and I see that green bubble. I'm like, oh God, green bubble. I can't send you anything. This is gonna take forever. It's such a little thing, but it's so subtle. But they did such a great job of keeping their ecosystem all together, so that people feel like they're in it. And I will guarantee that if we grabbed all the Apple people and we start talking, we're going to have a lot that we relate to when it comes to our bias and what we like or our opinion on things, right? I'm sure Apple, pure like diehard Apple owners, have certain opinions that match other Apple owners, right? Yeah. Like, for me, it was always like, I'm in the creative space, and that's who they market to, and I would always see it's like, this is the bandwagon effect. I would see all these other people, all these editors and stuff, they're all on Apple. Well, I'm like, well, if they're using Apple, and that's what I want to be, then I need to use that. That was mine. That's how I got in. And I want to be identified as a creative. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to belong. I wanted to be in that group. So if I needed to buy an Apple to be in that group and feel like I'm in, then I'm in. I don't want to show up with a Toshiba, like Windows 95 computer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't miss those days. God, take it easy over there. Yeah. But I'm just saying that's the idea behind it. Why am I bringing these up, right? Why am I bringing up all these examples? Because I want you to really think about what are the different things that you can do to engage with your audience. I want you to think about your audience first, your customer first. Create a sense of community, right? Your business, what you do for your business is always going to be there. If your product is good, your product is good. But in order to stand out, you need to do all of these things and understand that marketing is going to change. Everything changes. Radio was here, TV came up. TV, what is that? Nonsense. Radio died. TV's here. TV said, internet, what's that? Now TV's dead. Constantly changing. What doesn't change? We don't change. We have never changed. Our behavior has always changed. Marketing has been using that to their advantage for years. So if you understand how you're sold, then you can better understand the customer and company relationship. And not to abuse it, right? Because we want to be authentic, but you can use it to your advantage. I think I went over on time. I'm sorry.
No, you're great.
Okay. So I want to make sure there's enough time for...
Ray, I'll take questions.
Go ahead. Do your thing, man.
So Chipotle, for the longest time, did no advertising for their company, and recently they've implemented it. Why do you think that is?
Oh, that's easy.
Do you think the salmon or the
extreme? Oh,
that's all it was?
100%.
I thought that was the obvious thing, but I didn't know if there was, you think, something else where maybe their PR people or their digital marketing people were telling them you need to get more
Well, I'm
ads.
sure they did. I mean, eventually, so they had it easy for so long because they had such great word of mouth. And anytime you passed a Chipotle, there's like a line out the door.
Yes.
So you're like, this place must be fire. Like there's a line every time I go by. I have to try it, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't really need to spend that much. Now it's twofold, right? As they expanded, naturally, when they're getting into markets that maybe people don't understand what it is, there's some marketing. But the biggest push was definitely the salmonella outbreak. And it keeps happening.
Yeah, it keeps happening.
I have not gone since.
I haven't been to Chipotle in a very long time. And it's literally from that. So what did? They did a very similar thing to McDonald's. They talked about where their food comes from, right? And it backfired because their food is so natural, I guess sometimes they forget to cook it. But that's really the push behind it, because you have to try to change, they're trying to change the narrative as much as possible. Like, they'll be fine. They're still the people that are hardcore converts to Chipotle, like they're gonna go. But like you said, I don't go anymore. Once I saw that, so they have to do something. That's the only way they're gonna survive. That's why they're probably doing it.
Yeah. I kind of have another one.
Go ahead.
Say your name and company name, please. All right, who's next? All right, name and company name.
Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Credit card processing for over 20 years. And my question to you is, how do you obtain new clients for your business?
I have been fortunate enough of going word of mouth. Why? Because all this stuff that I just talked about, I literally did it. I did it without really realizing, right? My job when I went out, right, so the first thing I did was join the chamber, right? And I actually got fortunate because they used to do, you don't do a lunch and learns anymore, right?
We're bringing them back.
Oh, they're making a comeback. Great. That's how I got started. I joined, and within like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think I was able to slip into one, and I did it, and I got to talk to people, meet them, and get to tell about what I did. And what I did was kind of stupid and crazy, is like literally what you would usually charge me for, I told you for free if you went. Right? And what happened? They're like, well, this guy, one, he knows what he's talking about, and he's telling me all this info. I should trust him. So then what happened? All those people had a good experience. And then the other time I did another speaking thing, same thing. I'll talk to you like if you were my client, I'd tell you the same thing, a lot of it. I would just tell you, if you're here, you woke up, because God knows, come here early is a struggle, for me at least. If you came here, I want you to have a great time, and I want you to have as much information as possible. Because that's what I want to do. So what happened is people started saying, Dave? Oh yeah, Dave, he knows his stuff. I learned all this stuff. So I did all this legwork early on, and now I don't have to run an ad. I don't have to do anything. People will literally call me. Is it like typical? No, but it took a lot of work. It did take a lot of legwork. It wasn't easy, but I try to make sure that everywhere I go, people know what I do, but I'm not selling them. I just talk to them. I just talk to them about my business. I'll give you the information, whatever you want. And more often than not, I would tell people step by step by step how to do something, and they're like, yeah, I don't have time for that. I'm going to pay you to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any other questions? Yes.
Similar to
Name and company.
Sujata Kumar, Novel Pediatrics. I have similar question to Elizabeth, that you're talking about joining the bandwagon. But if there's a new idea and if there's a new kind of concept, how do you sell people that?
So it's actually perfect. So like I'm actually very familiar with that model that you're in, because I had a client that was in that exact model, right? So here's the idea. Here's a free one, freebie. So it's brand new, right? So it's a new thing. But the two things that you really need to harp on are the convenience, right, that you mentioned, and healthcare. Why? Insurance sucks, right? People hate it. People pay so much money, and they can't even go see their doctor because it takes weeks. So why am I paying all this money for something that may never happen? All I need to do is get a checkup, right? That's one facet of it. And then you have people that may be older that want to have a relationship with their doctor, and not just like 10 minutes, that they just walk in, yeah, you have laryngitis. See you, bye. Like that's basically what being a doctor became. It was just like turnover. But if you can take those and say, listen, you're like you just said before, you're going to have a great experience with me. You're going to have a relationship. It's going to be more economical, and you have access to me. Do you have clients now?
I do.
Use them. Say, hey, would you mind if you could give me a testimonial? Written, video would be even better. Let them tell other people why it's great for them. If you have people with families, let them explain why it's good for their family. And let them tell them in their own words. Don't prep them, don't do anything. Just tell me, why do you come here? Ask your customer. Everybody can do this. Why do you use me? Why do you come to me? All your marketing material is going to start to come out right there because you're taking a survey now. But you're going to use it to your advantage because it's a testimonial. So I understand your business model. Maybe people don't. But if someone with a family, right? So I have a wife, young child. So if I see someone else with that and they tell me why it's great for them and I can relate, sold. I'll never believe you. No offense.
I understand. That's the reason why I left.
Yeah,
the regular practice.
right. I just won't because I know that, just for a doctor. But if you could tell me these benefits and it's your own clients that are telling me this and their own testimonials, then that sale is going to be so much better. So that's kind of the bandwagon. So as you build up and you start to get more and more clients, right, that come in to see you, and you get them to make sure you regularly have in there that hey, can you please leave me a testimonial, please leave me a testimonial, and your numbers keep going higher and higher, you get more 4-star, 5-star reviews, people will see that, and they understand that you are a different kind of doctor, a different kind of model, and they say, well, all these people seems to work for them, maybe it should work for us. Does that make sense? Okay. See, for free.
You got one more? Do we have one more? All right.
Okay, my name is Kathy from First National Bank of Pasco.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello. Our banks, we have 3 of them out in Zephyr Hills and Dade City.
Okay.
Totally different demographic out here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
Oh.
I'm not from here, guys, by the way.
Oh.
Just I'm from Miami, so we've only been here for 3 years. So it's been that's right. That's why we rate it
So
like this.
give me some inkling into the mindset of the younger people. I mean, I can set up accounts for, older folks, but it's tough to get into the mindset of this different generation that's out here.
Well,
Tell me about who you are and what you want in your services and banking type things.
well, here's the first thing what you can do, right? Because this comes up a lot. How do I find out about like a certain demographic or customer, right? You ask them. You find them, right? Ask them. See what matters to them. As you could probably take a guess for people that are younger, right? Let's say, like I'm 33, right? So I'm like younger, starting a family, different from someone who's 25, different than someone who's 18. Completely different, right? At the end of the day, you know how the stages go, but what's been happening over history is everything's getting delayed. People are getting married later. People are having kids later, so you can't even base it off that. You need to talk to them and you need to see what's important to them, but you also need to educate them, right? So there are a lot of businesses that have to do an education portion. So like you are a perfect example of you need to do an education portion because they may not even know what they need. They don't know. They have no idea. Like a bank is not fun when you're in your 20s to talk about. Don't care. Like I got like $4, like I'm good. I can go to Taco Bell, like I'm straight. Like that's all I need. But they don't understand. They're not thinking 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in advance, right? They don't know about compound interest. They don't know about this stuff. But if you become the bank that is the local one that's going to educate these kids and these younger people and make it your goal, guess where they're going to bank at? Right. So you need to build up that trust with them. You need to build it up. But in order to do that is you're not going to sell them, you're going to educate them, right? So even if you went to local schools, local colleges, start them young. Even if you go to high school, listen, this is why it's important. This is what you're going to be dealing with when you graduate, right? You're probably going to, high school, student loans. Please teach me about student loans. No one taught me. I'm screwed. So please teach them. Those kind of things. They don't understand. If they don't know it, that way you prepare them, and they're going to go to the source. Everyone's usually going to go to the source that they feel more comfortable with, right? So if you're already meeting with them, educating them, no sale, right? Just this is a program to teach you and everything like that. They will come there because they're comfortable. You taught them already, right? Then you could tell them, hey, we got better rates than Bank of America and everything like that if they want to open it. It's a weird thing. Like you don't want to sell them, but you will.
Sure.
They just have to build in.
You're selling yourself first, just by.
I'm a banker, so I don't sell the bank, I sell myself, but and you're not banking with the bank, you're banking with the banker, because banking is such a hard thing. And it's, what I say is, what we get away from customer service, like when you go to a car dealership, you run. When you hear banker, you run.
Hmm?
But what I say is that I'm here for you. I will come to you versus anything about the bank.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny you mentioned that because even like a bank, so you know, when I go to a bank, it was the same thing. I just liked the person I dealt with.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Everything else, I'm like, all right, it's fine. Like, I just like that person because it's just convenience factor. Convenience is very big for people, especially now, right? We have a thing called Amazon. Convenience factor 100 million. Exactly. It's convenience. Everything's going to convenience because those big companies know we want to make your life easy, right? We don't want to make it difficult. That's one of my sticklers. Like, I'm about efficiency and convenience. So if I go somewhere, I am that Hollywood person. I'm like, ugh, wait a minute. I have to like scan my card now. I can't do it off my phone. Like, what is this? This is the 80s? Come on. Well, you only take cash? Oh, what is this? Yeah.
I never have cash on the
Did you know? Did you know now it's going the opposite? Places are now becoming cash only. Yeah. Convenience, convenience, convenience. Convenience factor for them. What makes it good for them? What's going to benefit for them? For them, for them, for them. Ask them what they want to know.
You see online, millennials, they want to follow in their parents what they've taught them about banking, but on the other hand, I've read articles that say a millennial would rather have a root canal than deal with a banker.
Yeah.
And which one is it? You have to ask.
You have to ask. Remember, here's the thing with millennials, because I am one, but I'm like the upper one, right? Millennials are 18 to 34. I'm 33. I have nothing in relation with an 18-year-old right now. Too different. I could have been born during the Civil War. We're completely different. Completely different. But we're lodged into it, right? So everyone's like millennial. But it's such a big span. Everyone's at a different point. 18, 25, 30. So many things are happening. So many different things. You can't lump them together, but you need to find out what they like, right? That's in-group favoritism, right? Find out what they like. What are the goals? What are the morals? What are the things that they like within those little groups? So if you want those high school, 18, early, what's important to them? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and make it easy for them. So if you say you're going to do a program for younger kids, don't make them go somewhere. Oh, I'm not going to get in my car and go over there and learn. Do it online. And you have easy tools to do it. You have a thing called Facebook, and there's Facebook Live. If they're too cool for Facebook, go to Instagram. It's live. You can do it. They don't have to go anywhere, and they can ask their questions. And it's almost anonymous. So they don't have to feel like they're asking like a dumb question, right? Even though you have to make them know, don't worry, nobody knows. I know 50-year-olds who don't know what they're doing in life. That's what I found out more as I do business. No one knows what they're doing. Everyone's kind of just going with the flow. So the more comfortable you can make them feel, the better. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Elizabeth Butterfield, and I'm so happy that Heartland Payment Systems, heartland.us, brought our company to the chamber because it enabled me to come to a presentation like this. And I'm going to be excited to bring this information back to my team because Heartland is relevant in the merchant processing and payroll, but I think that it's going to enable me to bring all the services and be relevant to our members. I'm really excited about that.
Sounds great. Thank you for coming.
I'm Dr. Sujata Kumar. I'm from Novel Pediatric Center. And what I got from this series is that human behavior is the key to marketing and understanding them and how to be authentic and to market with them, which kind of jives with my business as well.
All right. Thank you for coming.
My name is Jerome Smalls. I'm director with Soccer Gyms. And through this seminar, I actually got how to develop and build communities, for our parents and kind of allow them to develop that relationship with other parents in the community and having a connection, through our program. So that's kind of the big nugget that I got out of this seminar.
I'm Deborah Benoit, and I'm with Healthy Start Today. And what I got out of it most important was building the community and the connection and giving back. Instead of just trying to grab a client, is giving them something in return or to begin with. So wonderful presentation.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.